Welcome back, people. I hope you all enjoyed our last video. If you haven't seen it yet, please do. In today's episode, we've got 15 scary ghost videos that will make you question everything in life. Make sure you stay tuned till the very end. And if you don't want to miss any of our videos, then please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you're notified every time we post a new video. Let's get started. Number 15. Rodrigo Lopez made the suggestion for our very first video. The house in Asunción, Paraguay, known as the House of Horror, is rumored to be very haunted by residents. 6 horrific killings have taken place inside the walls of the now abandoned home, giving it a lengthy and very bleak past. A physician who once resided in the home shot a man twice after discovering him home alone with his wife in their home in the year 1913. A young mother, her 2 children, and her parents were sadly perished inside the home in 2018 at the hands of the woman's husband, who later claimed that he didn't know what came over him when he'd fired the trigger. This occurred several years after the man's initial crime. The senseless homicide stunned the entire city and gave the house in the title quotation the reputation of being the, quote, House of Terror for all time. Several bus drivers who frequently travel by the Home of Horror have said that they frequently notice a peculiar shadow that appears to be late at night and attempts to stop the bus, before vanishing into thin air before their vision. Additionally, according to the bus drivers, when it rains, you can hear children weep and cry coming from within the house. Numerous media outlets have covered the haunted house and the unusual goings-on around it, including this story by Alejandra Pereira, a Paraguay's C9N television network. She and her cameraman were giving viewers a live tour of the eerie mansion when they caught something genuinely terrifying.
Estilo colonial, bastante antigua esta casona. Alejandra, adelante.
Sí, muchísimas gracias, Silvio. Ya nos encontramos en el interior justamente de esta denominada Casa del Terror aquí sobre Oliva y Montevideo para hacer un recorrido con el compañero Derlis, que también estuvo en el momento que ocurrió esto, ¿verdad? Y nos va a poder también...
Fue en ese baño, Alejandra, donde se había realizado, digamos, el entierro de los 4 cuerpos de las 2 mujeres y de las 2 criaturas.
Sí, este sería uno de los lugares donde estaban enterrados justamente los cuerpos de las mujeres, en este caso, Silvio, según las informaciones que también estamos manejando, porque parte de otro de los cuerpos justamente también se presumía que se encontró en el fondo, hacia donde nos estamos dirigiendo en estos momentos, ya en el fondo de la casa también.
You heard it, right? Alejandra explains where victims' remains were discovered as eerie, mysterious screaming can be heard in the background. Although the TV crew on site claims they didn't hear anything, viewers at home who were watching the program live were stunned. Following thousands of inquiries from viewers seeking an explanation for the weird screams, C9N Paraguay examined the raw video material live and once more broadcast their results.
Vamos a llegar hasta aquí, hasta una de las máquinas donde nos tocó escuchar parte del archivo completamente en bruto. Lorena, ¿me puedes explicar lo que vamos a escuchar a continuación, los sonidos también por sobre todo?
Sí, bueno, lo que les voy a poner ahora es el sonido del ambiente que capta la cámara con el sonido del micrófono, porque nosotros recibimos los enlaces acá con canales diferentes, entonces eso se puede separar sin problema.
Porque parte de otro de los cuerpos justamente también se presumía que se encontró en el fondo, hacia donde nos estamos dirigiendo en estos momentos, ya en el fondo de la casa también.
Bueno, y ahora, ¿qué es lo que vamos a compartir también a continuación, Lorena?
Voy a poner el sonido ambiente que captó la cámara.
Solamente el sonido que entra por la cámara en sí y no por el micrófono que estaba teniendo en ese momento también nuestra compañera Alejandra Pereira. Si podemos ya reproducir y llegar al momento exacto en el cual se estaba dando lo que eran estos gritos. Ahí está.
Porque parte de otro de los cuerpos justamente también se encontró en el fondo, hacia donde nos estamos dirigiendo en estos momentos, ya en el fondo de la casa también.
What do you believe these sounds could be exactly? Could they be the cries of the victims still in need of assistance? Or could they simply be a highly intricate hoax? Number 14. The following video was uploaded to YouTube by the Mindseed TV channel. This time, Casey and Colton visited the home of the duo who had approached them In their letter, the couple claimed that the house was very active and that occasionally strange things happened. They also claimed that a woman had been murdered there in the past and that her body had been discovered in the lake behind the house. They both made the decision to visit the purportedly haunted house to see whether it was real.
Wherever your presence is, you can talk to us. Scan? What the fuck does that mean?
Maybe scan the house?
Maybe. What is it actually asking us to scan right now? Oh, shit.
What just happened?
Something broke and the chair just moved. That chair just moved right there.
The second we walk out of the room, I hear what sounds like a glass break, and then all of a sudden it sounds like dragging furniture across the tile floor.
What is it actually asking us to scan right now? Oh, shit.
What just happened?
A chair got pushed over, papers flew out. Colton was right behind me with his camera. We both captured it. I know that Colton got part of it, but I know I got all of it on my cell phone. Actually asking us to scan right now. Oh, shit.
They spent a few minutes looking, and at one point there was paranormal activity. A glass appeared in front of the floor out of nowhere, and one of the chairs was violently moved.
Was found in the lake?
My first reaction was to mute the spirit box, so I muted the spirit box, and we were just listening for a moment, trying to see if we could hear maybe another one or like any kind of follow-up noises.
I can't explain to you what emotionally and mentally went on there. It was like everything that I had a choice of to think about shut off, and an instinct just kicked in.
Everything around us was rumbling. It felt like the whole barn or stall was gonna get lifted off of the f***ing ground.
I'm telling you right now, I'm over it, dude. Let's leave, dude.
Yeah, let's get the on, man.
Yeah.
The second Casey makes it back with the spirit box, there's 1 second of silence and then crash.
Let's go. Tell me you heard that.
What's that? Dude, sounds like somebody did a cannonball.
This sounded like someone cannonballed into the f***ing lake. That's the only way that I could explain it. It was loud, there was bass to it.
Let's go. Tell me you heard that. Tell me you heard that.
Dude, sounds like somebody did a cannonball.
There's no way.
After what they saw and experienced in the barn, they next walked to the barn where they heard a swirl close to the lake. They ended up going there to participate in a seance with the managed record on the Ouija board, which left them extremely frightened.
Is there more than one of you here?
Can you give us an initial? Can you give us your name? Can you give us anything?
When we looked out to the lake to see what was making this noise, I could see what clearly looked like to me, I mean crystal clear, the top of like a woman's head peeking at us out of the water. I could see eyes, I could see hair, I could see wet hair.
You have no idea what it's like to experience that type of thing. And so without even a second thought or look or guess or asking each other's opinion, we were gone.
At one point, the terrifying head of a lady pokes out of the lake, and Casey and Colton resolve to evacuate as soon as possible since they're disturbed by what they see. You be the judge as to whether or not the activity was caused by the slain woman's actual spirit and poltergeist activity. Number 13. The following audio clip is from the Japanese horror film Omagatoki Film. This time, Hiro will be shown having gained access to a spooky home where the previous owner intended to commit suicide. He left the apartment since he was unable to be there any longer. Hiro made the terrifying decision to spend the entire night by himself to investigate.
ああ、怖え。もうそっち何もつってないよね。このカメラの明かりだけで部屋がぼんやり照らされてるのがちょっと気持ち悪い。ダメだ、ちょっと目を閉じるのが怖い。ちょっとこれ無理だな。ちょっと寝るの無理。分かってたけど。さとこさん。さとこさんって言ってる。人の名前。さとこさんって言ってるのかな。さとこさん。待って。ちょっと待って。ハワイって聞こえたよね。まだ開いてないけど。もうちょっとこのまま朝向かいます。 あと数時間なんで。
Hiro resolves to go to bed late, but after a short while, he's unable to do so. Therefore, he makes the decision to perform an EVP session. As time passes, the phenomena and the atmosphere become increasingly intense until he hears voices and notices the door opening. Then he makes the decision to remain in one of the chambers where we can make out an odd, dark anomaly in the door. Is this property actually possessed, or is everything merely plausible? Tell me in the comments section below, would you? Number 12. The ghost hunting team is looking into a haunted pub and the small Illinois hamlet of Schiller Park for the YouTube channel Believe.
Place has been here since 1889. The bar is original to the building. Where our banquet room is used to be a general store, a milk depot, a gas station. It was kind of a railroad bar back in the day. It was a speakeasy through Prohibition. We had gambling downstairs. From what I hear, we had the girls upstairs. And the place has been consistent through the years.
A paranormal experience. The unsettling ghost of a melancholy young girl is claimed to haunt the pub. They gather a number of odd EVPs during the course of the research.
How many spirits are we talking to?
All of this alone is spooky enough, but keep in mind that the tavern is rumored to be haunted by the ghost of a little girl who was photographed outside the woman's lavatory. Well, one of the members of the team saw something quite odd when she looked into the washroom.
Is there a little girl here? In the bathroom? Are there any women in here with me?
Did you notice that when the team member Marcia opened her camera past one of the restrooms, she caught what appeared to be a youngster peeping through the washroom door's breach? In fact, you can see movement coming from the door's crack as something peeks out before darting away to appear to be hiding. There was nobody in the restroom at all. Decide if the Believe team successfully captured a ghost on camera. Number 11. Kevin and cameraman Fabio from the YouTube channel Archivo Extincto investigate a graveyard in Mexico where the majority of the graves are those of children. The cemetery's custodian, who has only served there for 2 years, thinks it to be very cursed. He alleges that during that time, he has heard sounds and witnessed the spirits of children playing around all over the gravestones. Kevin, the host, and cameraman Fabio are interrupted while the caretaker is narrating his spooky tale.
Él ya lleva aproximadamente 2 años trabajando en este lugar y nos cuenta que en todo este tiempo ha tenido manifestaciones, incluso en donde él duerme. Nos comentaba que le han bajado. ¿Qué pasó?
No sé, güey, no mames.
¿Se escuchó?
Sí. No sé, ¿no lo
¿Fue como un quejido?
Sí.
Behind videographer Fabio, a child's faint groan can be overheard as Kevin is in the middle of recounting the story about the cemetery's caretaker. Kevin starts to wonder about the little ghost that might be following them as Fabio swiftly turns around but sees nobody. The unusual activity picks up and it becomes more intense.
Niño, si quieres jugar, no seas mamón, güey. A tu lado, a tu costado. Sí, hacia allá se escuchó, güey. Se escuchó hacia allá. No mames, cabrón. Otra risa. Fue otra risa, güey.
Even though he's a little frightened, Archivo Extincto presenter Kevin starts taunting the creature to reveal itself. What occurs next is absolutely terrifying.
No tengo miedo absoluto. Te pido que te manifiestes. No seas mamón, güey. Allá, acá.
Fue acá abajo como...
Acá abajo, güey. No mames. Alguien corrió, güey. ¿Escuchaste? No mames. Dime qué es lo que quieres, niño. Vete a la chingada. ¿Qué chingados?
Cameraman Fabio is now fed up and simply wants to leave. Kevin muses on their experience as they make their way out of the eerie cemetery as they move toward the exit. One final tilt of the camera by Fabio reveals something quite horrifying.
Un cementerio lleno de actividad, repleto de manifestaciones paranormales, muchas energías, mucha energía vagando por todas las tumbas, por todo el sitio, tratando de jugar.
Did you notice someone appears to be standing directly behind them when Fabio swings his camera around to capture a short image of the cemetery surrounding them? A dark figure appears to be following the lads as they leave the cemetery grounds, though the guys claim they weren't even aware of it at the time. What do you think? Some viewers on YouTube and Facebook say it might be an appearance of a child interred in the graveyard. Number 10. Ghost Hunt Weekend, a YouTube channel run by Chad Morin and his crew, records monthly group tours of haunted location and uploads them to the site. They are joined by Jacob from the Travel Channel, the Carpetbagger, on their paranormal investigation of the Titanic Museum in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. The Titanic Museum is now constructed to seem like a half-scale reproduction of the genuine Titanic ship, because the museum exhibits about 400 genuine artifacts discovered either in the debris of the Titanic or actually found on the victims' bodies.
This is Mr. Isidore Strauss's ring. It's a wedding ring that was recovered from the dead body.
Employees thought the enormous museum to be haunted by the many spirits of the 1,496 people who sadly lost their lives on the Titanic in 1912. Both Chad from Ghost Hunt Weekends and Jacob from the Carpetbagger caught something much more unusual on videotape at the exact same moment when the party arrives at the exterior area that is supposed to replicate the outside deck of the Titanic.
I'll even go backwards. When I get to 1, can you make that one go off? 3, 2, 1.
Whoa. Yeah, this one here. Hey, what's that screaming? Is that screaming? Yeah, did you hear that? Screaming. Dude, we just heard screaming.
I'll even go backwards. When I get to 1, can you make that one go off? 3, 2, 1. Whoa.
Yeah, this one here. Hey, what's that screaming?
Is that screaming?
Yeah, did you hear that?
Screaming.
Dude, we just heard screaming.
They also hear an ominous scream coming from someplace in the vicinity, in addition to receiving a direct reaction on the REM pod that's parked on the museum's deck. Even though the scream is undoubtedly unsettling, it's nothing compared to what occurs as they explore the second-class part of the imitation ship while no one in the crew even acknowledges.
Just knock on the gate or knock on a wall, let us know you're in there, and we'll grab the keys.
What was that? There's like banging here and then that went off at the same time.
Did you see something?
No, I heard it. I don't know where that came from. I couldn't tell if it was here. Yeah.
Let us know you're in there. Can you bang harder? We'll get the keys. We can't hear you if you're in there.
Have you seen how Chad pans to the left to capture the group? It appears that a dark figure is moving all the way to the back. Whoever or whatever this is doesn't seem to be paying attention to anyone and nearly has the appearance of wearing a dress, in contrast to the group who all appear to be gazing towards the imitation Titanic gate. So what do you believe this might be? Do you think it could be the ghost of a Titanic victim who perished and now wanders the museum halls tied to one of their treasured objects? Please let me know your opinions in the comments. Number 9. It's hardly unexpected that the ancient Ram Inn is considered to be the most haunted structure in all of England, given its gloomy past. The enigmatic inn was constructed in the year 1145 over a pagan burial place, and it operated as a housing facility for laborers and slave masons. Before being apprehended and burned at the stake as a witch in the 1500s, a woman hid out in the structure. Decades previously, it's rumored that the innkeeper's daughter committed herself by hanging herself in the attic. As if that weren't unsettling enough, the floor of the inn was discovered to contain the deteriorating corpses of children who had been slaughtered. So when the ancient Ram Inn was sold to John Humphreys in 1968, his wife and daughters reportedly refused to reside there and left, leaving John Humphreys to live by himself. From the YouTube channel Dark Territory, Sean, Owen, and Carl Hassell journey to the haunted inn to look into the numerous reports of ghostly activity. Sean feels something caressing his leg inside the house as they continue their inquiry.
Sounded like you rolled a barrel, or did you work at the inn?
Dude, upstairs.
Go. Yeah, I just heard what sounded like movement up here. Is this where you are? Are you the witch? They call this room the witch's room, so we only assume that you, the witch, you're felt in here.
Did anyone hear the voice a second ago before you said you're felt in here?
No. Witch, you're felt in here. Witch, you're felt in here.
I don't know if it's a voice or it was like a cat.
Yeah.
No warnings whatsoever.
Did you used to sleep in this bed, witch?
I'll tell you, this is the...
Fell something on my leg, man! Someone was on my leg!
Jesus Christ, bro!
Touch me leg.
And they hear strange, unexplainable noises. Then things get increasingly crazier as British paranormal hunters Sean and Owen explore the second floor.
What little room are you hiding in? Come on, show yourself. I'm sure you're not afraid of me and Owen.
Guys, the door's just open.
The team is unable to explain why an attic door suddenly opens, and they're left in the dark. The squad has been repeatedly strolling past the door without taking any action, and there has been no drought. The team decided to conduct an experiment to test if the feeling of fear will result in more paranormal activity, because it's been long believed that evil spirits and entities feed off of fear. Since the bishop's room is thought to be the most supernaturally active, team member Carl is bound and blindfolded before being placed in one of the beds in that space. It looks like nothing much is happening at first, and Carl seems to be becoming impatient with everything as time goes on. But suddenly, something horrible happens.
Someone's touched my leg. Someone's touching my leg, bro!
Something's happening.
You around me now? You make a sound. What the was that, bro?
What, man?
This something's just fallen off here. Who's that? Touch me, man! What the? Something's wrong with Carl. He's obviously.
Holy shit, man.
We need to go. You get me the out of here now, Joe. Bro, I just seriously, someone just whacked me, no joke. I heard something being thrown or something, and I was like, come on, and then someone just whacked me, no joke, as if someone just punched me in the chest. Me.
Carl starts to panic as he feels something brush across his thigh. A candle then drops to the ground, but the scariest event is when something unknown slaps Carl in the chest. The ferocious slam is loud enough for the audio to be captured on film. Carl Charles scrambles desperately to free himself from the rope that's tying his wrists and legs together as he finishes in utter terror. What do you think? Did the paranormal researchers succeed in capturing evidence of the evil spirit that stalks the old Ram Inn?
Number 8.
The grave of La Llorona, one of Mexico and Latin America's most well-known stories, was visited by this paranormal team, Extinct File.
Nos encontramos en uno de los sitios paranormales más emblemáticos de México y a nivel mundial. Hablamos de lo que es.
They hear her for the first time when they check the reading on their EMF meter, and once more, the bemoaning goes on.
Ocasionó mucho temor, mucho terror por...
They hear her again as their EMF meter is activated and the energy decreases. She then laughs instead of continuing to lament. After that, you can also hear her kids. The crew is being followed until she somehow enters a signal on their radio.
Estaban prendidas, ¿no? Justo hace 5 segundos estaban prendidas.
When they're in the meadow, they observe that the lights were shining on the tomb have dimmed, so they make the decision to go investigate them. Be sure to keep an eye on the tomb's right side. So what's your opinion on this?
Number 7.
The spirit of a man guided the Se Investiga Cazadores de Landas paranormal team to his corpse. A guy is rumored to have committed suicide there, so Se Investiga went there to investigate. Mysterious events happened as they conducted their investigation. Their first sound came from the nearby woods.
Opa! Louco, você viu esse barulhão aí? Aqui, mano. Opa, só... Opa! Quase acertou na cabeça, mano.
Then, on their own, tree branches started to fall from the sky.
Aqui, ó, aqui, ó.
The spirit then began hurling branches directly in their direction.
Nossa, só o matinho. Opa, caramba. Que isso? Oh. Passou lambendo eu aqui, mano. Você viu, cara? Passou aqui na frente. Também, velho.
They pulled out their EMF meter and picked up on energy.
Cara, tem negócio meio louco aqui mesmo.
Meanwhile, the spirit appeared to be wreaking havoc on many fronts for them.
Tentar. Ei, cara. Oi, que é isso, cara? O que tá acontecendo aqui, mano? É louco. Aí, cara, ó, aqui, ó. Até grudou aqui, cara.
Were they being directed to his body by his ghost?
Eita. Opa, cuidado aí, ó. Tá maluco, mano? Sai daí, velho.
He's certainly attempting to communicate with them, whatever the message may be. So you're the jury on what happened.
Number 6.
Not everything in this abandoned house is unsettling as the doll dangling from the rafters. The videographer has some lighting problems as he moves through the scene, which was published by Clip Hantu in May 2022. He has an intermittent light that flashes on and off. This is then captured. In this shadowy space, an enigmatic figure waits. Another unsettling figure is later photographed raising its head behind this concrete wall. Maybe even more terrifying. The videographer notices a set of feet that belong to somebody hiding in the darkness while the hunt continues. Who are these individuals? Do they observe him, or do they intend to take his soul?
Number 5.
In this spooky video, Ouija boards are up to no good. This Friday the 13th ghost has something to say. It was published by Danny Dorito in March of 2020. Danny and Cassie are in an old abandoned kitchen when they hear a repetitive squeaking or tweeting sound.
I don't know if that's like those are mice, but I doubt it because it's just a consistent sound. It might.
It goes on for a very long time and sounds like a mouse or a bird. It appears to be coming from a vent. Even after several minutes have passed, they're still hearing it as they put up the Ouija board.
Guys, Dad, can you stop? Listen, I can't control it, okay? Bro, make a shitty joke.
They then frequently hear what they characterized as faint voices communicating.
I hear something else. Me too, that's what I'm saying. It's like so faint. Yeah, it sounds like people having a conversation, but like from really far away.
Very, very far and muffled.
Despite happening twice, the camera doesn't seem to notice it above the constant tweeting. A short while later, they hear someone whistling.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? He's whistling a song.
Both Danny and Cassie simultaneously experience a whispering sensation in their respective ears as they begin their Ouija board routine. Cassie feels it in her left ear.
Bro, did you hear that?
I felt that.
Bro, it was like it was right in my ear, in my right ear.
It was in my left ear, it was from this side.
Yeah?
They then hear sounds coming from the corner, but they're unsure of what was spoken.
Like, is it? Say it. Maybe I'll say it again. I don't even know what it said. I just heard it. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly
right.
What I heard. Yes.
The tweeting increases in volume when they stand in a particular space. Right here, they decide to use the Ouija board. They had previously heard the name John or Jerome in the spirit box.
Bro, are you moving it?
Of course not. I can't.
Bro, I just heard a whistle and the wall behind you is vibrating.
Shh, what's it on? What's it on? It's still moving, still moving.
And now the spirit directs them to the letter J. Have voices been spoken in their ears all night by John? Maybe Jerome is tweeting from the ceiling rafters.
Number 4.
This terrifying video, which was released in August 2021 by True Horror Stories POV, will cause you to scream, trust me. Near a window, a woman is drying her clothes. She examines something on her phone while removing it from the kitchen counter. She observes this as she pivots back in the direction of the window. Outside her window is a young woman dressed in white with long, dark hair. She remains still and remains silent. In an effort to get as far away from the ghost girl as possible, the woman steps back and begins frantically hammering on a door nearby. The woman turns around after hearing silence to see the ghost girl has vanished. She walks up to the balcony and leans out. Nothing. A second ghost girl, even more terrifying than the first, then appears as she peers through the vent into the restroom. What does this ghost stalker desire, and who is she?
Number 3.
In November 2021, YouTube user Black Cat uploaded the video to the platform. Out front of a bedroom, the cameraman is shooting. Initial silence and stillness pervade the entire scene. Following that, the wardrobe's doors swing open and a variety of items are thrown outside, including clothing and plastic bags. They're being physically evacuated, not falling out. You can see shelving within the wardrobe that would make it impossible for somebody of a regular stature to hide when the cameraman enters to investigate it, throwing the items into the area where they are hidden from view. Noise is heard from behind the cameraman as the lens moves across the wardrobe. The cameraman snaps his head around to see a pile of papers flying from who knows where. Next, let's move on to the unexplained paranormal activity story.
Number 2.
In this frightening ghost encounter, these ghost hunters turned into the hunted. Assad and his team search for ghosts in this supernatural show, which was published by Wo Kya Hoga Official in September 2021, and they are not unsuccessful. In this haunting location, they begin to hear noises and suddenly notice a shadowy figure hiding just out of view. A stack of bricks is pushed out of one of the walls as they keep looking. Later, they hear a roar coming from behind them and something rattling in the entranceway as they draw closer. One of the crew members is seized after they once more hear something standing behind them.
You got her.
They enter the room quickly, but nobody is present. However, as they look through a hole in the room's wall, they catch a glimpse of something that flashes by. Later, they discover more convincing evidence that something has been following them around all throughout. In one of the various rooms of the building, a figure is standing. The person vanishes as they turn around. However, another shows up, this time dressed in a pink robe. Later, they discover another woman standing the opposite way as they continue to chase her. But this time the figure doesn't stand motionless. Instead, she creeps terrifyingly towards their direction. Could you withstand such a holy terror? Or would it be sufficient to truly frighten you?
Number 1.
This is the spookiest witch to ever appear on camera, according to a publication by Rat Tat Tat MC channel in October 2021 that was first shared on Twitter by Hayatijits. In the video, an elderly woman with long gray hair and shabby clothing can be seen wailing on the floor of her hut. What's so terrifying about this is her face. No features can be seen other than a jagged scar for a mouth.
Astagfirullah. Bang Anton, jangan terlalu dekat. Bang Anton, mundur, Bang Anton.
The witch emerges from her hut while crouching down low as this courageous woman moves away. She approaches the woman by creepily moving over the ground on all fours. In an apparent attempt to defend herself from the witch, the woman is seen engaging in some combat sports. The witch then has the upper hand and casts a spell in her direction. The woman is thrown to her side as a result of this and makes choking noises before righting herself. The witch then uses a different spell to knock her back once more. Was the enigmatic figure a real witch in possession, or was it just a hoax? That's gonna wrap it up for today, you guys. I hope you liked the video. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do so and hit that notification bell. This has been The Haunter, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep it creepy.